guys, Gretta here, and today I'm going to be covering how to create an e-commerce brand. Over the last 6 years, I've founded 4 multi-million-dollar e-commerce brands, including Skinny Me Tea, The Fifth, and Drop Bottle. What I've learned is that there's a fundamental difference in e-commerce. The difference between creating an e-commerce store and creating an e-commerce brand. A lot of aspiring entrepreneurs I talk with don't understand why brand is important or even what the concept of brand is. A brand isn't just your branding. It's not just a name, a logo, or even a product. A brand only exists in someone's mind. A brand is a perception, created both via experience and association. This can be both factual, for example, the product comes in a yellow box, or emotional, for example, it makes me happy. I'm lucky enough to work in the same space as one of the world's top digital branding agencies, Love & Money in Melbourne. They've worked with top brands like Polaroid and Frank Body and won awards from the likes of Shopify. Love & Money are my go-to for all things branding, and they've worked across all of my brands to date. So when I was thinking about what I'd chat with you guys about today, I turned to Toby, their creative director, and asked that annoyingly broad question: why is it important to have a brand? And off the top of his head, he answered, a brand is something that you can sell, even if you no longer have any products or services to sell. If you have no equity in your name, something people believe in, buy into, and see value in, then you have no brand. His answer was perfect, exactly what I was looking for, as it highlights the importance of building a brand. Think of an e-commerce store. You need products on that store for it to be worth anything. If you just want to make some money in the short term, go for it. Run a store, make some sales, sell somebody else's products. I get that, it's more than fine, but it's just not what excites me. I want to build something longer term and more sustainable. Then one day, if I want to be able to sell it, not just for a sales multiple. I want to be able to create the brand equity and goodwill that will skyrocket the valuation of my company. So if you're like me and you want that too, you'll need to consider brand. So now that we understand why building an e-commerce brand is important, we can move on to how to create an e-commerce brand. So I had a chat to Charles, the founder and director of Love & Money, about what a good starting point for e-commerce startups is when they're thinking about brand. And Charles said, not all businesses need a full brand strategy. What all businesses do need is a clear idea of what, why, and how they're doing. Any great business is defined by ideas and action plans, and these need to be as succinct and distinct as possible. What Love & Money offer most startups is what they call a Brand 101, which is designed to be short enough to be understood easily, sharp enough to clearly differentiate your business from the market, and fluid enough to include whatever might be pertinent for your business. So what elements exactly should you be considering in your Brand 101? Personally, when I think about creating a brand, I always start with the 4 V's. Your brand vision, values, voice, and visuals. And the way these need to be communicated needs to be consistent and create a connection with your target audience. The end goal is to build a memorable and long-lasting relationship with your customer. So in terms of your 4 V's, let's quickly cover how we can go about determining these for your brand. So again, according to Love & Money, your brand vision is what your business aspires to achieve beyond your bottom line. You should be proud enough to share this with everyone, shareholders, employees, and consumers alike. Remember that your product should be the solution to a problem. So think back to the problem that your product was solving in the first place. For example, your brand might be a reusable coffee cup or keep cup, and the problem your brand is solving could be the waste caused by everyday disposable items and the damage that causes to our shared environment. So your brand vision could be to encourage the use of reusable items to reduce the waste caused by everyday disposable items and protect our shared environment for future generations. When it comes to determining your brand values, have a think about what's truly important to you as a founder, your brand, and your audience. Your brand values lie at the core of your culture. Staying on theme with our reusable coffee cup example, these values could revolve around the environment, transparency, and the customer, for example. I particularly love Warby Parker's core values, which include treating others the way that you'd like to be treated, creating a working environment where employees can think big, have fun, and do good, serving the community, and that green is good. So do your research around other brands you love and see what resonates with you most strongly. When it comes to establishing your brand's tone of voice, I'd start with your brand's personality. Again here, Love & Money like to say that every brand has a personality. If it doesn't have a personality, it's not a brand, it's just a logo. They use what's called the Millward-Brown Index that breaks down human characteristics into 20 different traits, which can be characterized by certain brand archetypes. So there are 10 brand archetypes, from the joker to the dreamer to the friend to the seductress. Do your research around these archetypes and pick 1 to 2 that your brand should embody. Among other things, this will help guide and direct the tone of voice for your brand. So moving on to the fourth and final V, which is visuals, which refers directly to your branding. This is where your logo, typography or fonts, colours, packaging, and visual branded content come into play. A couple of great places to start when creating your brand are 99 Designs or Canva, so do some research around these tools. Otherwise, you can always work one-on-one with a graphic designer or a branding agency like Love & Money. So that's the 4 V's covered. One last thing I'd like to touch on before we finish up is your brand positioning and creating a unique value proposition. These are a really important way to differentiate your brand from a sea of others on the market. Your brand positioning can be seen as the way in which you design your company's offering to occupy a distinctive place in the mind of your target audience. One great way to think about this is through creating a unique value proposition or UVP. This is a single, clear, compelling message that states why you're different and worth buying. For example, at my brand The 5th, our brand was different because we only sold our watches on the 5th of each month for 5 days. So you want to find your point of difference within the market and articulate exactly what that is to your target audience. Again here, what you want to think about is the problem that your brand is solving and how you can solve it in a different way. Some areas where you can highlight your point of difference are your product's design, function, price, and time that it's available. So when it comes to design, some trends to look at could be personalization or customization trends, like adding your customer's initials to your design. When it comes to changing the functionality of your product, you want to solve an existing customer pain point with that product. So for example, if you drop your iPhone a lot, a protective phone case, or if you take a lot of selfies, a case that creates the perfect lighting. When it comes to price, you want to consider whether you're going for a lower direct-to-consumer price point, which is more accessible to the masses, or a more exclusive higher price point. So consider how your brand is different and how to communicate this with your target audience. So that's a quick intro in how to create an e-commerce brand. If you need more guidance, I'd consider checking out my course with Founder called Start and Scale Your Online Store, which takes you step by step through finding a trending product idea, branding, manufacturing, building an audience, launching and scaling your e-commerce brand. So thanks for watching, guys, and if you want more content from myself and the Founder team, be sure to hit subscribe below.
The Founder mission is to help you create an ass-kicking business and help you learn straight from the mouths of world-class founders. Get your free printed edition of Founder magazine featuring Sir Richard Branson. Just cover shipping and handling at founder.com/Branson.